We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
You had accountability. Now, what I can...
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where, give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a foo-foo page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live at Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise back wolves.
Before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. Yo, welcome back to Do Fools Agree. I'm working on the camera because it doesn't seem like something's transitioning in, but that's all right. We're going to get things going here in just a second. Oh, it looks like it came through. It looks like it might have.
Are we good?
I think we're good. Your camera looks a little frozen, so I'll mess with that for a second. But how you doing, man? How's your week going?
I'm all right. It's over now. It's over.
It's over? We made it through?
We made it. Made it another one.
All right.
Off.
Another one bites the dust.
Another
week here in lockdown, Ohio. You know, they do all those, what is it, the Denial Ohio about the opioid crisis here in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And this is lockdown, Ohio. What are you going to do? Oh, man. So things going all right, working from home for the first, this is what, your second full week now?
Yeah, second full week, I believe.
All right. You still feeling productive?
Yeah, I'm producing.
All right.
I'm producing. Efficiency.
Helping the rich stay rich.
You know it. You know it. My back's all whipped up.
Yeah.
Rowing that boat.
I mean,
can't row fast enough.
Basically, but as long if you don't own the means of production, that's pretty much everybody, right?
Right.
Man, I don't know. It's been an interesting week. Week.
How was yours?
It's been all right. I think the thing that got to me today, and I wasn't around for a lot of it because I had kind of a full day of meetings and everything. But my kid's he's struggling with it, man. He's had a couple of. He's had a couple of like emotional outbursts today, like to the point that my wife had to restrain him, like put him in a full like I don't know a CPI something like that.
I don't know what that is.
I don't.
It sounds serious.
Right. It's basically what they teach special ed instructors in terms of like restraining a kid.
Out.
And,
why was he flipping out?
I don't know. And I guess she got him calmed down, and then they went to they kind of went back to the car or whatever. And he basically just said he misses his friends. I'm like, that's hard, man. I can't. Never having gone through it.
Right. One could only imagine.
And my mom and I talked about that a little bit tonight when she came by for the weekly pizza, and she was, she made a comment about how, well, that's what we used to do with you, and I'm like, you never had to be locked up in a house with the same child for 6 weeks in a row straight.
Right.
You never had to deal with that. There was nothing like this when I was growing up.
And I feel like you and Andrew have two different demeanors. Like he
no
bounces
doubt.
off the wall.
No doubt. And
my
my mom
kind of reserved and
always.
He's at it. He's back. He's back and he's forth.
Bounce.
He doesn't stop. He
does it. That's all he knows. He only has one speed, and
so
it's
I can get that.
a go.
He had an adrenaline dump today,
and it kind of caught up with us.
Right.
It's been so. There's that. Just buried at work, man. Same project we've been working on for a fucking month now, and you know there are certain people you work with that you're just like,
oh, this shit again.
It's exactly, and it's a situation where somebody is throwing up roadblocks to like everything that we want to do, but the roadblocks they're throwing out are kind of self-imposed,
right?
And really, like, there's leaders who are starting to see that this person, all these roadblocks that they're putting up. So let me put it to you this way: this person has a team, and this person likes to complain about how they're not set up for success, how they don't have the right people, how they don't have the right talent. This person is a senior leader at this company. Fix it then, motherfucker! Like, bottom line, that's what it should be.
I get it. Listen, I get it.
You want to complain about this shit, and guess what? It's in your power to fix it, so fix it. So that's the kind of shit that I've been dealing with all week, and it's just it's frustrating, especially when every other call you're on or every other phone call you have to make, it's all done through like Skype or link or through, I think there's something called like Microsoft Teams now or some shit, and like every other call ends up like, hello. You get the whole robot voice and the video choppy and the presentation's all fucked up. And I'll tell you what, I have spent the last 3 weeks optimizing my internet connection. Guess what? It doesn't matter what my internet connection is when the VPN network is fucking donkey dick.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I'm getting into with my situation.
Yeah.
Where
it's
they're
the
starting
VPN.
to be like, is your internet good? And I'm like, my internet, listen, I'm a gamer. I pay for the best internet. I don't have issues.
Right.
So what the fuck is going on?
No, it's the second you connect to VPN that shit all goes to hell.
Man.
That's what the bullshit is.
They had me questioning myself. Like, is it my, like,
is
do I
it,
gotta go cuss wow again? That's usually an annual cuss out call, and I don't want to have to make 2 this year.
Well, and I told you, like, mine with WoW is rarely a cuss out. And maybe it's because I've been with them for so long that, like, anytime I call them about anything, they're like, oh, we'll fix it. Like this last one where they basically upgraded me to the top tier and I'm paying $15-20 a month less. Like,
right.
And really, I could turn some shit in and be paying another $10-20 less.
I know I said that last week. I need to call, though. I've been with them sons of bitches for 5
Forever?
years.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Shit.
So what you got going on, man? Any inadvertent thoughts to get us going here this week?
I guess I got one. I was... Who am I fooling? I wasn't scrolling through Twitter. A notification popped up on my phone.
Okay.
And it said that they might be bringing baseball back.
Really?
Through the corona shit. And I thought, like, I mean, it makes sense because no joke. It's one of the only sports you can play while social distancing. So I get why you would bring baseball back.
True statement.
Nobody really wants to watch it. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good on watching it. I noticed ESPN had they had the video game.
Wait, do they have like esports or something on?
That's what I was going for. Esports. They had esports on
Really?
ESPN. I was like, oh shit, they are
struggling.
They're falling off. Now, if they brought baseball back, I can't say that I might
There would be any
right. I might actually opt for them to put back on the esports.
What's going on with all like the indoor sports? Like you could do.
That's what I was just thinking.
You could do poker, right? You could do World Series of Poker. You just make it an extra long table.
Yeah, right. You have to do that.
Everybody plays at their own table, and they got a screen that shows the dealer turning the hand.
They could do that.
You know, I thought we'd wait a little to get into this, but the one that got me was UFC canceling. Them canceling UFC 249. Now, I don't even know who was on the cards.
I don't either.
But you know who's responsible, right?
Who?
They have a deal with who? Disney and ESPN.
Is that right?
This is why they need their own fucking network the way the WWE does.
Right.
Because then they don't have to listen to anybody.
Right.
Now, I will say some of the things I saw was that they were asked to cancel it because it ties up medical personnel unnecessarily.
For what? Like, what are you talking about? Like the
Right, like people who are treating UFC fighters are going to be the same people taking coronavirus calls. Get the fuck out of here. Those people are on UFC payroll.
I mean, I guess they're saying like them going to the hospital after.
I guess, but not even. Because do you think they go to a normal hospital after? Or do you think they have like on-call doctors that work for the UFC that either treat them at their facilities or they will treat them at their basically their home care facility?
Yeah, this was a good card.
Was it?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say good. I mean, yeah, it was a decent card. Yeah, it was a decent card. Says Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje, Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas, Greg Hardy, he was fighting.
Yeah.
Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Kattar. But I mean, I thought what's the name? I thought Dana White was supposed to be buying that island or whatever.
They actually talk about that a lot in the article that I read. So I think the one I read was on Bleacher Report, and basically what he said was, yeah, we're still talking about that. It's in the process of standing up the infrastructure. It's just not quite there yet.
But let's be honest, there's not much. Let's be honest. Injured fighters, there's not much they can give you, but an IV and maybe check for broken bones, right? Like, you don't need a doctor for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you end up needing a surgery, it doesn't happen directly after the fight.
No,
because
you're gonna have to wait for that kind of stuff anyway.
I don't understand what they mean by tying up medical personnel.
Exactly. Bottom line is, Disney ESPN basically called him up and said, you shouldn't do this.
But I don't understand it, because isn't that money in their pocket? Like, isn't that...
It is and it isn't, because guess what? If there's any blowback from it, the person that's their distribution network will catch the
blowback. Like what? Like people that are upset that these fighters aren't social distancing?
Guaranteed that's what it is.
I guarantee it's
Disney CYA. And don't get me wrong, because I love like 90% of the shit Disney puts out. But this is why, because guess what? You know who didn't kowtow to all this shit? Who didn't? Who does Dana White wish he was?
I don't know.
It's the other topic for tonight.
Vince McMahon?
Yes, he wishes he was Vince McMahon.
Listen, I was going to
say... And Vince never would have bowed to one of his networks telling him not to do it. That's why he built his own network.
I was about to say Floyd Mayweather. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
In terms of who he wants to be?
Right. Yeah, he wanting to jump over into the boxing promotion scene and all that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's where the money's at. That's where the money's at.
But the way he came up and the way he gobbled everything up, his forefather was Vince McMahon in terms of the way he runs shit and the way he handles his business.
Oh, yeah, we talked about,
Yeah, there's no question about it.
No, I can definitely see that.
Right.
I just, I don't know. I just feel like even the people, like, do they even, well, I guess they do to those companies like that, like Disney and ESPN, but I was thinking, like, even those people that are so outraged at do they even exist, really?
What do you mean? Like, the people exist in terms of who's going to be upset about social distancing?
Right, do they even exist?
You and I must have different friends on social media, because it's all the fucking shit that I see on social media.
They don't
people
exist
whining about...
to me.
They don't?
They are aberrations. They don't exist. You don't stop my flow. What are you?
Right.
You're just another voice in the crowd, baby. I don't see the faces. I just hear the voices. You're just another voice in the crowd. You don't exist. You're just radio playback, in my opinion. I don't pay.
It's just same.
I don't pay attention to people like that.
Same channel, different dial.
You know? But once again, like I say, I guess to a corporation, a company, you know, that big, I guess.
Well, Disney in particular, because of how they're oriented, and honestly, I'm sure part of it is they're not making money. They don't want anybody else to make money right now.
You know what, though? That's
some selfish
I
shit.
feel like that is a ill collaboration.
What, Disney and UFC?
Right.
It's because Disney owns ESPN.
Disney and fight sports in
But it's
general.
ESPN. It's ESPN Plus.
I mean, I get it, but that
Is there a bigger name in?
That's like when KFC and Taco Bell joined together, and people were like,
What are you talking? What do you mean?
Or
what?
Pizza Hut. I mean, is it KFC and Taco Bell?
Well, if you're really lucky, it's all three. It's a Kentaco. it's a Kentaco Hut.
Is that what they call it?
Kentaco Hut. I'm looking at my friends from the football days.
Listen,
that was like the biggest thing is when we could hit a Kentaco Hut on the bus. Because then everybody could get what they wanted, and we could all shit our brains out later that night.
Right. But when they first hit that, when they put that collaboration on us, we were all kind of looking like, what?
I wasn't. I thought it was brilliant.
Did you?
But I was a fat kid. So.
And
when I say was, but I am a fat kid.
What the fuck is that? Yeah.
I guess that's not something two fools agree on. That's a disappointment.
No, we don't agree on that.
Because I think the Kentaco Hut's a legit thing.
Yeah, no. Every time I see it, you know what? And then I think in my mind, the way my mind works, you're sacrificing quality of one by adding the other.
No, well,
So
first
if
of all,
there's
the quality.
all three? If we have all three, they're probably adding ingredients from different menus to that bitch. Fuck that. Fuck that Kentaco Hut shit. Fuck that. Nah. No good.
You don't. Oh,
that means each one is a 33.3 out of 100%. You understand what I'm saying? That's exactly what.
That's how that math works.
Right.
You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you on that. Fools agree.
We'll get that. Okay.
We'll get that one.
Listen, fuck that. Fuck that Kentaco Hut.
What are you gonna do, man?
That sounds like where you find some kids chained up in the basement. I don't want to be in that disaster. That's a disaster. Talking about we'll shit our brains out. That's a disaster. And I
Can you imagine like a family of 6 stopping there on the road?
Carnegie Mellon's offensive line. I couldn't imagine that robot shit.
Oh man, you want to talk about some blown up bathrooms? Oh boy.
Listen.
Shit.
What
literally.
about you? What about inadvertent thoughts? Did you have any? Or are we getting straight into it? We already touched the.
Nah, I mean, I had a couple of little ones. First, people that are out there scamming like Instacart or DoorDash or Uber Eats, putting in a high tip, and then changing it after the driver has dropped off your shit or the shopper has dropped off your shit.
You can do that?
Fuck you. That's not cool. Yeah, man. So when you order
why would they even allow people to be able to do that?
I don't know. When you order like Uber Eats or whatever, right? You can put in like the tip that's based on like 5, 10, 15%, or what is it? 10, 15, 20, 15, 20, 25, whatever it is. But then when you get your food, you're allowed to change it because if it didn't meet your satisfaction.
But why would that be on the driver?
But that's the whole point, is that it's probably not on the driver and people are just being assholes getting them. So when you go as a Uber driver or an Uber Eats driver and you say, oh, this person ordered this and oh, that's the tip that comes with it, I'm gonna do that one. And then you go and get the food and then you drop it off and then they change your tip after the fact. So they're basically bribing people, saying, "Oh, I'm going to give you a $15 tip or a $20 tip," and then they're changing it to 0 after they deliver the food. And that's fucked up.
No, it's definitely fucked up. I feel like it's more so
on the company. Yeah, because you should only
the
be able to
driver
change it within a certain
You
percentage,
shouldn't
if
be
anything.
able to change the tip whatsoever. The driver has nothing to do with the
90% of the time has
Half
nothing
the time,
to do
those
with it.
places that you order Uber Eats from, they just throw your shit in a styrofoam box because there's no face attached to the order.
Right. Right.
It's another Uber Eats. Just get it out the door. So
exactly, because they're not going to have to deal with you from a
Right.
customer service perspective.
Exactly, and
I
even
hear
if you
you.
want to complain about it, you're not going to call them. You're going to
call Uber Eats or
Grubhub.
Grubhub and complain to them, and 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to refund your money. Because guess what? It's easier for them to refund your money than to go fight with the restaurant.
So my whole
it.
thing is, why is the driver being... That's what I'm saying. It's a whole... And I say it all the time. Fuck the trickle-down economic shit. The only thing that trickles down is blame.
True.
Put the blame
shit
on the
rolls
guy
downhill.
that can't defend himself. What the fuck is the driver gonna do?
Right. Right. Not their fault. What are they gonna do? They can't do anything.
And then what? To get a actual good a 25% tip? I gotta go back in the back with fucking whoever's cooking the food to make sure they're... Put it in the tray right. Have some presentation and shit. I want a tip.
Right. I don't know what you're supposed to say to it. Like, shit.
Listen.
It's just dumb.
Okay. All right. That's what... Idiocracy.
Right? No
Idiocracy.
doubt. So that was one. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I watched Bad Boys for Life this week. I thought it was all right. So that's the new one that came out in like January.
I feel like I started it.
Yeah.
And I
just
probably
didn't get
fell
through it.
asleep. I don't remember. I hope I didn't get through it, because if I did get through it, then it was very uneventful.
It wasn't what you wanted it to be if you
But
can't
if
remember.
I'm being 100% honest, I didn't like the second one.
Really?
Couldn't
I
stand
see.
it.
I thought the second one was just dumb, fun action.
I mean,
I
that
liked
might
it.
be why I didn't like the second one, because the first one
had a little more
movie.
heart, a little more.
It was a real,
story.
like even the
feel you.
storyline was real.
Yeah.
The second one was Haitians releasing cars on a freeway. Like, when the fuck do you see that happening?
The devil is not welcome here.
Listen, all that, it was just ridiculous.
Really, all Bad Boys 2 gave us was Shaky Tail Feather.
The Nelly song.
Nelly.
We do it for fun. What?
Well done.
What? See, I know. The drug lord. That's what it was. And they put the wire up in the drug lord. That was
movie,
the second one.
Yeah, the second
right?
one gave us my favorite. One of my favorite movie lines ever, though.
They drove the fucking car through the favela.
Yeah.
Get the Hummer. Yeah, no. That's where they were missing me. Listen, I loved Bad Boys. They missed me with that second shit, though. So
I hear
the third one, I was kind of leery. I don't
well,
know if
and
I
it was
like
it was
overweight Martin.
It was a decade late. Like, if they really wanted to do it, they should have done it 8 years ago.
Listen, if we be in that's the fake. That's even faker than Bad Boys 2, because we both know them old motherfuckers would be behind a desk somewhere for Bad Boys.
Well,
3.
they do talk about it. You like if you've seen it, the whole thing is like basically Martin Lawrence retires. That's kind of how the movie starts, and then Will's trying to get like one more in, kind of deal. And they train up the young crew, the ammo squad, I think is what they're called.
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah, I don't think I've made it. I must have passed out.
I mean, it's
before
not.
I got to the end.
So what I'd say is it's not terrible.
Well, no. Before you make your statement, let me first preface that with I am narcoleptic. So when I say I fell asleep on it, I don't necessarily mean it was just awful. I probably just had a narco spell.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Right.
Probably just passed out. But Would I watch it again if someone asked?
Yeah.
If someone was like, "Hey, let's
But you
watch
weren't
Bad
going to
Boys."
go out of your way
But,
to do
yeah,
it.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not about to.
No, so back to the second one. The line that gets me is it's one I use all the time. It's the line is from the bad guy. He's like, "This is a stupid fucking problem to have, but it is still a problem." And he's talking about the rats eating the money. And that line, I use that line probably on a weekly basis. This is me having to deal with this shit. This is a stupid fucking problem, but it is still a problem.
I bet. You're what is it called? What the fuck is it called? Your micro team meetings.
Right, exactly. That's how I feel about Skype pretty much on the regular. It is a stupid fucking problem to have, but it is still a problem.
Right, I'm sure we'll run into it.
Oh, man.
I'm sure we will run into it.
All right, I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to try to reconnect your camera real quick because this flashing on the screen next to me is killing me.
Oh, shit.
It'll be all right. We'll get it. I don't know why it started doing this, though.
Because they hating.
Right? That's exactly what it is.
They hating on me.
He hate me.
Well, America.
This will be good.
While you can't see me, I feel like I can really say.
Get away with this shit. Let it go.
I can really tell you how I feel about you. Why can I see myself? Oh, okay.
Because the stream is delayed a little bit, and you're looking at the stream cam.
I ask that probably once a week.
It's all good.
Well, what was I about to say? What statement
you
was
flip
that?
your lid back up?
Oh, are we back in there?
I think so, because it's...
Well, Mike ruined that.
We'll see. It'll come back.
I was about to
If
tell
nothing
you,
else, it doesn't look like it's flashing, so...
I was about to tell you about yourself, and then Mike ruined that. Now you can see me again, so I feel like...
What were you going to tell them about
keep
themselves?
it to yourself. Well, if you really want to know... No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Why didn't it back up yet? Is it that delayed? Goodness gracious.
No, it's... I'm not going to reboot the whole stream, but I'm rebooting your camera, so it just takes a minute.
Oh, okay.
But, so I watched... So we watched Bad Boys for Life, and then... I don't know, man. I rewatched... I was rewatching the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman Begins and like the Heath Ledger Joker. Made it probably halfway through. Batman Begins is better than I remember it being. That's the one with
I don't like Batman.
No, not a Batman fan.
I don't like any. I don't think what. Name a cool DC superhero.
There's not a lot of them. I was a Batman fan growing up. I mean, what white kid wasn't? He wanted to be rich, educated, and a superhero.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I think I'm the weird one because, like, I went to the movies to see, like, Batman and that Star Trek that we talked about with Matt. Like, I didn't ask to go see those movies. Those were movies that I think my mom took me to see, thinking I would enjoy.
Thinking you would like them.
Those movies.
And she was just wrong.
Awfully wrong. Now I'm trying to think of a movie that she did take me to see that she got right on the money. Because there is one or two of them, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Though. Can't think of it, though.
I don't know.
But yeah, no Batman, no Superman.
I'm not a big Superman fan either.
No,
I feel you on that, and I'm not. Honestly, like the only DC movie that's come out outside of like the Dark Knight trilogy and the 1989 Batman. Like,
right. Are the Ninja Turtles DC?
I don't think so. I think that they're actually their own.
Right.
I actually know that they are. They were their own line.
They're on what's it called though?
Are they?
The game.
Is there
DC
on the
universe or not DC
yeah, but
universe.
DC might have absorbed them along the way, or may have absorbed because the two guys that created them,
I think they went into like kind of a big feud. I was watching it on
like the Turtles,
right?
If they count as superheroes.
Yeah, I feel you on that. The have you ever watched what is it? The Toys That Made Us? There's a Netflix series, and it's all about kind of the toys that we had kind of growing up, right?
With the Green Ranger's face on the front.
Depending what season it is, yeah, like because Netflix upstate their cover art or whatever.
No, I saw it on there. I never watched the show, though.
I liked it. Like that's
good.
one I could put on. I'm not saying don't watch ones for shows that you don't like.
That's a good segment. That's a good wild card segment we'll have to throw in there.
By the way, it looks like your the glitchiness on your camera fixed.
You're welcome.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Man, we've watched every kid movie we own 12 times.
I'm about sick of you and your kid. Let me be quite honest. I'm about sick of you and your kid.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
Trolls, Moana. Listen, I told you, kids grow up fast around me. We don't watch that bullshit. I can't say that because I told you I like Pixar. I like
We were watching Wreck-It Ralph when you walked in.
I like that. Oh, I thought that was something else. Isn't there another one with her only or something like that? No, I'm just thinking of Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Right. Wreck-It Ralph 2 is... I actually think it's better than the first one, but...
I don't think I saw the second one. Have I seen it?
The second one's the one where they go to the internet. And, like, they get into the racing game. Like, that's all it is. It's them kind of traveling the internet.
Is it racing,
It's not bad.
though?
Yeah, there's racing in it, but it's less racing. It's more... like, they're making crazy videos. They're basically they make Ralph into, like, a YouTube star to earn money to fix Vanellope's race game or some shit.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the 2. But... yeah, kids gotta grow up fast around me. We're not watching all that little bullshit. I will Moana you. I've never seen Moana. I'm lying. But I will watch it with you.
Wait, who'd you say you'd watch it with? Did you say you'd watch it with me?
Not you, fucker. There'd have to be a child involved, I would imagine. Otherwise, I'm not watching a child's movie. Listen, my father... I don't remember watching any kid movie with my father. Let me put it that way. Without incriminating anybody, let me just put it that way, that I myself don't remember ever seeing a cartoon movie with my father.
See, I think I saw all the major Disney ones, and I think part of it was my dad really was a fan, especially when they started adding in computer generated. Because he was an architect, I think he found the technology fascinating.
Was the type that was like, Cliff, you gotta see. You ain't seen a Team America or whatever that. What was that?
Team America World Police.
Is that
the one that was made by the South Park guys?
Dumb fucking shit.
America.
I was a kid and I was like, oh yeah, no, yeah, you're insane.
America coming again to save the motherfucking day.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hate all that.
Cliff, do you just hate fun?
No.
Are you
I don't
sure?
know, because maybe I have a deranged idea of fun. I might have been told that a time or two and it went through one ear and out the other. I don't know. That could be the case.
That might be it, man. That's disappointing.
Maybe my idea of fun and your idea of fun are two different things.
I think, yeah, you're probably right. I think history has taught us that.
I think so.
This is why we've gone back and forth.
Right. That's why the title of the podcast fits a lot more than you think, ladies and gentlemen.
Even though, when we get into it, it seems like we agree more than not, but...
Maybe. We're still early. This is only episode 12.
That's true. And we've already had like one or two not agrees right now, so I think...
All right. That's just this evening. Oh,
I got another one for you. This isn't really an inadvertent thought, but it was a news article I caught. And we sent motherfucking astronauts and cosmonauts to the International Space Station while this pandemic is happening. Now, if that doesn't sound like the start to a horror movie, I don't know what does.
I mean, They're brave. Those are brave souls.
They are.
Those are brave souls.
But I feel like every alien alien virus or alien parasite movie starts just like that.
They're probably up there fucking in zero gravity right now. Why not? You don't have corona. Y'all don't got the Rona.
That's true. They would. I mean, the ones up there don't, but what if they're taking it up with them?
What you mean?
I mean, the astronauts that went to the space station, what if they're bringing it up there with... That's what I'm saying.
I see what... No, I'm pretty sure...
Because what happens at that point?
Stop it. I'm pretty sure... Listen, this is NASA, and I'm just a fool. I'm pretty sure they had them quarantined for a month before they even put them on a ship, and before tested their... I'm sure they saved the corona test for them.
All it takes is the one dude who was working the rocket fuel line, the one janitor who came to work sick. To get him.
Nah, I don't
That's
think
all
it works
it takes.
that way.
That's all it would take.
I don't think it works that way. I think at that point, once you have them quarantined for the 30 days, you're handling them through a glass door.
Oh, you're handling them with the plastic gloves.
Here's your food for the day.
Somebody still has to prepare the food, Cliff.
No, MREs.
No, they're getting the freeze-dried shit.
Right.
They're getting
this
that
is what
already.
you got to do to go to the moon.
That's what you got to do this time around.
That's funny.
What do you got?
Speaking of, interesting. And chances are, if you're listening to our podcast, you're probably a fan of the other as well. The Joe Rogan podcast, they had, I can't remember his. Prepare for him to go up into space for his trip. He had to live 60 feet underwater in the ocean for 30 days.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like one of them domes. Like it was a dome underwater.
Yeah.
So like you swam down there with like your scuba gear, but once you came up under the dome, you came out into like air. You know what I mean? Like, and it was an apartment like set up
basically, but it's
in a dome down there,
set underwater.
Right.
Okay.
So it was all the people that he was gonna go up there with, of course, were down there with him. But the shit that tripped me out about it is he said that the place where you had to shit was another dome that was 10 feet away from 10 feet or so away from the dome you live in. So if you had to shit at night, you had to swim in pitch black to the other dome. Listen, I don't know if I'm going to have prostate issues when I get older or what the case may be. I'll piss twice a night some nights.
Right.
I'll wait, just because I don't like anything on my bladder when I'm sleeping. You know what I mean? If I feel any feeling like I have to use the bathroom, I'm going to get up or I'm not going to sleep comfortably.
I hear you, man. I'm diabetic. I got to piss two or three times a night.
There's no way. I'm pissing myself on purpose.
Right.
I'm not swimming in... First of all, we're 60 feet underwater in the ocean, and you think I'm swimming... You think I'm leaving this dome, do you?
I got nothing. You got
Y'all are going to have to deal with 30 days worth of shit. Okay? 30. Don't come to Cliff's room, because it's shitty in there. I'm not leaving this fucking dome.
It's gonna be a shitty time.
I'm not leaving this dome for 30 days, and it better be well lit when you extract me, is all I'm saying.
Oh, man.
The fuck?
Well, I think on that, I think we can agree. Because
Okay,
I don't think I'm gonna do all that shit either.
Moral of the story, we're not astronauts.
Nah, man. Nah.
I don't know this guy, though. This Trekkie over here.
No, I see. If we were talking those kind of ships, I'd be down for it. Well, I'm not gonna see that in my lifetime, so I don't think that's in the cards.
You never know.
It's true. You don't.
You never know.
You don't.
It's too much. It's too big for me. It's too vast. It's too big.
Yeah.
That's how the
It is the ocean thing. Yeah.
Ocean, space.
I
Those
hear
are
you.
two things that overwhelm me. I'm overwhelmed. It's too
It's
big.
understandable.
It's too big. It's too.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Just too much.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm just a speck, a mere sea monkey in this oceanic existence.
That sounds racist. I'm not sure why.
You got it again, son. You got it again. Touche.
Oh, man.
But nonetheless, I know I'm a mere nothing. But that is just too much for me.
All right, yeah. No, I'm with you. It's not. You know, there may have been dreams about that at one point. I don't know.
Like don't get me wrong, because because I know you get a kick out of shit like that. If you could be on a ship like that, like the whatever, what was it?
The Enterprise.
The Enterprise. Could you look out the window?
I think
I could look out the window like as we're traveling, like if I'm like sitting behind like Kirk or somebody or a bad green bitch. You know, I could look as we're traveling. But if we're just sitting there, you know what I mean, like slow, like not warp speed or anything like that, I'm not going to the window like an airplane looking that I would.
Not doing all that. No, I hear you.
Like I feel like it would take my breath away in a bad way. Like I can't believe it.
I can't do it.
Right.
Not doing
it. Like in the opposite. Like, you know what? It's like an opposite of claustrophobia.
Okay.
I'm extremely claustrophobic.
Is that agoraphobia?
Is it?
I feel like that's what it is. You know, our number one fan is out there, and I bet you she knows.
Miss Rita, help us. A message to tech support. And then what I would like to know, that's why we needed Jamie, because what I would like to know is, what's the opposite of claustrophobia, and is it common for them to share the same relation? You know what I mean? For people to be claustrophobic to also be agoraphobic or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So not like closed in spaces or wide open.
Right.
Like you got to be in a house.
Because I could see me like a desert. Like if I was in a desert, you couldn't see like a pyramid or the into it at all.
Yeah.
That would trip me out. Like where are they? I'm just so small out here. Like I can't get anywhere. I don't even see where to go. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
That
I get it.
Freaks me out as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if a desert really would, but the ocean and space, I feel like those have to be common fears.
See, my whole thing is I was never a fan of being, and I hear you on the ocean. I think it's being in the water always bothered me more than being on the water.
Right.
That was always my thing. Like because for me the boat was a secure thing.
Right. No, I feel the same way. But I also have awful luck, and I feel like if the ship goes down, it'd probably be with me on it. Which is why I've never taken a cruise in my life. I'm just not a...
Is that the only reason?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still, as much as I have, like, fears and shit like that, as you know, I'm very reckless as well. So, I'll do it anyway.
By the way, it was agoraphobic.
It was? Look at Michael. You don't know Jack's paying off.
Man, we didn't get anybody for this week other than the Rita.
Really?
Yeah, we kind of fell.
Well,
I don't know if it's because I moved it back to 9 or if it's because we changed the technology.
I'm telling you, I told you I'm very narco.
I hear you.
I'm very narcoleptic.
No, well, and the thing for me was, like, if I do it at 8, I feel like I'm leaving Shard out to dry a little bit.
Right.
So maybe there's a middle ground of 8:30.
But it's okay, you deal with kids.
Yeah, but the flip side is that she deals with him all day.
Get better at your job. Get better at your job, Charlene.
Oh,
practice.
I'm not letting you talk to her tonight.
This is practice.
That sounds like all sorts of a bad idea. You gonna keep those
The jack off must begin at 8. Otherwise, Cliff will be late if he shows.
Oh, I'm not going there.
Get better at your job. Do practice. The more the merrier.
Right.
Drop some kids off. Have more kids around in this quarantine. That'll make you better for when you get back in that classroom in the battlefield. They'll never pay you more, but hell, you may get no, because this fucker makes too much. But so you may get a fucking check from Trump, but
only if she wants to leave me. Then she's
I don't think 1,200. I don't think 1,200's worth it, there, Charlene. So, what can you do?
I don't know. Some days she might feel that way. Damn it.
I don't know. Grass ain't greener. Where were we?
I don't know, but there's a complaint being made that I think I posted that the show started at 9 tonight instead of 9:15, and then it didn't start till 9:15. So I'm sorry. That was my bad. I'm usually pretty good with that. I'm just responding to the chat, so give me a second. Uh-oh.
Oh, you got a caller?
We might have a caller. We'll see. Caller.
MF. Motherfucker.
That's what it says. We'll see if we get him. I don't know.
You got us first.
I don't know. He's got the other
What
camera's
up, what
working
up?
for him. What's going on, sir?
Audio issue again.
There he is. There's our favorite undercover.
Mike, get your shit together, man.
What do you mean?
Are we good?
Is he saying he can't hear us?
Can you hear us? He was frozen there for a second.
You can't hear us, but we can hear you.
No sound.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Oh, man.
All right, give me a second. Although last time we just kept...
I got no audio, bro.
1 second. We're gonna give it a second.
Hello. Hello. Hello there.
I feel like Cliff over there is whispering sweet nothings in my ear, but
That's exactly what he's doing.
I was about to start singing Adele to this son of a bitch over here.
Cliff, be entertaining for the people.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you can hear me. So, America, as I was saying.
Jesus, Cliff, that's a hell of a mug you got there.
Hell of a what? Huh?
Is he talking about the beer?
What's going on?
This mug?
So, America.
The beer, bruh.
America.
You like
Fuck
looking
yeah.
all over the place. What the hell is he talking about?
Okay, I'm distracted. So he can't hear?
Apparently not. Give me a second.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry if this is killing the rhythm or the vibe.
No, you're all right. You're good. You're good. I'm trying to figure
Where
out
were
why
we?
you're not getting audio.
Where were we at before? What were we talking about before the call came in? Why you do the tech support, Jazz?
We were talking about agoraphobia.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Nah, I'm blaming Mike on this
What's
one because
that?
we went
What's
through
that
this
mean?
like an hour ago.
Oh, right. Isn't this y'all? That's what I figured. Can they hear him?
They can, yes. Everybody can hear everybody except Matt can't hear shit for whatever reason.
Oh, okay. Rita, where
I
are
don't know what
you?
he's saying, but I feel like I'm getting blamed for something here.
Rita, where are you?
We can hear you.
We got to start doing sign language for our hearing impaired.
I blame his internet connection is what I blame.
Is that it?
Because last time I didn't do anything to fix
Here,
it.
let me call you back.
Yeah, it's poor connection on his side.
Is it?
I'm 90% sure.
Well, okay. Oh, he come back quick. Okay.
Check. Can you hear us now?
No.
That's what it's going to be, because otherwise he'd be speaking.
Right. It's a no-go.
Yo, you got us?
Hola?
Hola. No. I think this issue is on your side, not mine. You, not me.
But the show must go on. I'm going to start the first tap dancing podcast. And it's going to go a little
You know
something.
what the other problem is? It's probably because we're giving him a real video feed and it's fucking up the audio.
And it's going to go a little something like this.
Hold on a second.
Can we hear him now?
I mean, we can still hear him, and I can hear you banging on the table.
Well, that's what my tap dancing podcast is going to consist of.
I wonder if we turn off the video. If
The first tap dancing podcast.
Well, we'll see if Matt's able to join us. I don't know. I feel like, but it shows poor connection, and it's not on our side because I've got the connection here is phenomenal. Although we are, we're streaming and doing all sorts of shit, so it's possible. But
the show must go on.
The show must go on. So if Matt can't hear us soon,
all right. What solved this last time? I called you and all on my phone. I got you on the tablet here.
Okay.
Got somebody on that motherfucker.
Right?
What was that about? He can't even see. He talking to
Your
that
phone
might
ringing,
be the
Mike?
problem.
Yo.
All right. So this is what we did last time.
And then it worked, and then you could hear through it?
Yeah, and then the Skype stream connected.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, man, so we might have to bag it for this week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good.
We didn't change anything. That's the thing that's bugging me.
Did you press that button? That fuzzy button? The button that made the
Try
fuzz?
that.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's flip the stream here. You call me.
All right, we'll try that.
All right.
And then let's get to it.
All right, folks, we're going to give one more shot.
All right, folk, we'll give it one more. Just one of you. One more shot.
Fuck. Well, maybe that is what we did last time. We called him instead of him calling us.
Oh, I guess that money's real, huh?
What?
That Trump money.
Is it?
Listen, I called Chase because some money went back on my account, which is odd. Listen, that's how you know you broke. You know you a broke motherfucker when you call the bank when money goes back onto your account. You're like, hold up. I gotta make sure this is mine before I get to spend it. So I called, and one of the first things they said was,
I'm gonna try it one more time.
I think this is gonna work.
We'll see. Can you hear us now? That's a no. No?
Goddamn.
No, it's not working.
You got me, but I don't have you.
Yeah, we've got you, but...
Yeah.
Damn, that's just,
All right, one last trick. Try my phone. See if that helps.
All right.
But while we do the trick, what was I saying?
I don't know. What were you saying?
Oh, that Trump money. I said I called the bank because that money was
Oh,
put back
right.
on my account. And they said call centers are closed, so we're short staffed. So if you have questions about your Trump what's it called, please visit
Your Corona stimulus?
You're right, or something.
That sounds like that's going to be what the new porn is.
Oh, I
speculation.
to correct myself. Last week I said Corona and chill. Fool as fuck. Quarantine and chill.
Quarantine and chill. That makes more sense.
I felt like the people that listen. No, I'm lying, because for the most people that are listening, probably don't know much about quarantine and chill. And if they do, they're doing it subconsciously without knowing what quarantine and chill was. But quarantine and chill, not Corona and chill. Corona and chill is a fiesta.
Corona and chill is a fiesta?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be a siesta.
Iesta, siesta.
¿Cómo está? Bien, muy tú. All right, we're going to try answering it just as an audio call this time. So we're going to do it as an audio call just to see if the video is what was fucking everything up. But Matt, do you have us? It doesn't look like you do. Nothing, huh? Matt, is your volume turned up?
Right, at this point. Is it an ID10T, sir?
All right, trying one last little thing. See, this is also why you need the Jamie, because you need the Jamie doing this piece so that I keep the show going.
Exactly. Yeah, we might have to figure that out.
I'm just trying to figure out why it worked last time and it's not working this time. That's the part that's upsetting.
The last 2 times.
Right.
This is the third time.
This is the third time, and we've never had an issue with the audio
God damn
before.
Right. I can hear my G.
Right? Me too.
I'm sorry, fellas.
Well, we love you.
We love you.
I just have to type in some shit.
We love you.
It's on the live chat.
Yep. All right, man.
All right,
Sounds
guys.
good.
I'll see you next week.
We'll figure it out next week.
Right.
Good deal. All right. Well, we tried. Poor Matt.
Yeah,
Matt
but
just
they
wants
said-
something to do.
Listen, they said visit what's the name at I don't know the dot whatever.
Chase.com.
No, but it was /Chase for it said on there like if you're calling about the receipt of your, and they gave the website address. I said, oh, this shit is real. This motherfucker really planning on giving money, huh?
Yeah,
I
the
still
big
don't
thing.
trust it.
The big thing there is
Knowing
if you
Trump
do
will pull it back out your account.
if you
so
do
can spend
direct,
it.
well,
Puerto
that's basically
Rico.
they're going to give it to you and then they're going to tax you on it.
What's that
It's
mean?
going to be taxable income.
What's that mean?
So that means basically
It's going to be added onto your
Yes.
annual.
Yes.
So I mean, but you're still coming out on top.
You are, but just don't think that it's completely free money because it'll all come back to bite
free
you.
Anything in this fucked up
Well, I
nation we
mean,
live
that's
in.
always my problem. Like, because you know what usually fucks me up from a tax perspective, and it's not big, but what usually destroys me getting a return is my check from my stipend for football.
I don't know what that is.
So I get like a flat rate for coaching football.
Oh,
It's
right.
not an hourly thing. And they don't ever withhold the taxes the way that I tell them to. And so what it ends up doing is it basically becomes another, $4,000 of taxable income that is not accounted for.
For real.
And so usually I end up just like basically that ends up being my quote unquote tax return.
Right.
Because it's going to eat all the shit up anyway, so.
That's still
It's not terrible, but
more than my tax
still
return.
coming out. Well, it's
4,000?
definitely more than my tax
4,000.
return, but
I mean, that's smart. I mean,
but it's
you're
also
coming
why
out
sometimes I end up owing money on my taxes instead of getting a return.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
But I'm saying even. Oh no! I'm not doing the math correctly. I get you. I follow. I'm following.
And I think that's what.
I follow now.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, because I mean, it's still your money that they owe you from
Right.
working, so it's not the tax return because you worked for that. Yeah, I'm fucking up. But hey, what can you do?
Yeah. I mean.
Fuck those kids.
Fuck them kids.
That's my new motto, 2020. Fuck those kids.
Where's Bernie when you need him?
and not Bernie Sanders, who dropped out of the fucking race.
Bernie, I
was talking about Bernie Mac. These kids, fuck these kids. Bernie, R.I.P.
Listen, by the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have a imitation jar on the table.
Oh, that wasn't even that wasn't meant to be an
every
imitation.
Time, okay, just check it. Every time
that was a quote. That was a quote more than an imitation.
Not any imitation, but a bad one.
A bad one.
He's gonna have to put $1 in that imitation jar. So he's got to make change before every podcast. Bills only, sir. No quarters.
No quarters. I have to borrow cash from my son.
We operate off a strip club policy.
This is plastic business only.
Listen, let me tell you something. It's funny that you said that because I'm gonna be very real with y'all today. This is my daughter. Do you remember the podcast that we did that she stayed over here with us?
Yep.
And you gave her birthday shit?
Yeah, it was Christmas birthday. Like, it was because it was late.
And it was like, right, okay. So, she, out of everything that you got her, she left the gift card and the $20 in the gift card. You gave her money too?
Did I?
I know you gave her a gift card and some other stuff. I didn't know if money was involved.
I might have slipped a little more money in there because it had been like we were already like a month or so past her birthday or past Christmas.
Because all I know is
I feel like I slipped her a little bit.
The gift card and $20.
That sounds right. And
in
then there was
a bag that she left in her room.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, I can't really. I guess I can't. I was thinking to myself, like, well, first I was thinking, you little fucker. Because I tell her all the time, keep track of your money. If nothing else, keep track of your money. Because I'm constantly giving her money and she's constantly losing it.
Gotcha.
So I'll give her money. So
that's just an ongoing conversation.
Right. I'll give her money before she gets home back to her mom's house. She has lost the money that I've given her. And I thought to myself when I saw that, like, she's never gonna learn. Like at this point, I understand why.
Right.
Parents are like, I'm gonna just take all your money that anybody gives you, and I'm gonna put it in the bank.
Because you can't be trusted.
Right. So half of me feels like you should be the responsible parent and take her money and put it in the bank. And the other half of me says I should pick her up and spend this $20 in her face on myself.
And then be like...
And say, this was yours,
This was your
right?
money.
Right. Just so she gets it through her head, I can't leave money anywhere. Now,
it's
of course,
daughter.
being the dad that I am,
your daughter.
I'd give her 10 of the 20.
And Uncle Mike would give her the rest of it back.
And she better keep it. Otherwise, Uncle Mike is going to be putting into my $1,200 from last week. And fools agree. The fuck? If she loses another $1, I'm not even going to say nothing to her. I'm going to just be like, oh, that's fucked up, huh? You lose shit.
Right.
That's
not good. That's not good.
Right. How else can you play it? How else can you play it? Where we at?
Your camera flickering is bothering me, and I don't know what's doing. Actually,
are we still streaming? Are we still?
We
live?
are still streaming. We're still live. That's the big thing. We're still live.
Okay.
So I think the other thing that we wanted to get into, or I wanted to get into, just because it's like the only. Really, it's the only like sports that are happening, and I know it's not really a sport, but the granddaddy of them all, Wrestlemania.
Some would be offended. Some would be offended that you said that's not a sport.
Well,
I'm not.
It is. What's the word they use? They use it's scripted. It's not that it's fake. It's just predetermined.
It's predetermined. It's like a musical. It's
right.
like a sports musical.
Well, it's a scripted television show. That's all it really is, right?
It's like
they always say it's the male version of a soap opera.
It's like high action Glee.
High action Glee. Yeah, except there's not a lot of singing, Cliff. There's not a lot of singing.
Are you sure, brother? That's another thing. Listen,
I'm pretty sure.
Listen, you may got a little too much soul, Gary Bertier, because I've never heard the A on Wrestlemania. We all know they use the hard R. Brother. There's no brother. In WrestleMania.
I feel like you're probably right.
Yeah, Gary.
You're probably right.
You got soul, Gary.
You know, what are you going to do?
Strong side.
Left side.
That's all I'm saying, okay?
You know something, brother? The Hulkster gonna run wild on you.
He definitely used the hard R, okay?
He did. It's true. In both words.
You're right. I trust Macho Man, Slim Jimmy. I trust
Macho Man,
Slim Jimmy a little more than I trust that Hulkamaniac. But WrestleMania. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. So, to prepare for this topic,
did you watch any of it?
To prepare for this topic, Michael provided me with his WWE Network.
WWE Network. We cheated the system.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry if I wasn't supposed to say that. Well, it doesn't matter because we didn't.
Well, they were doing a free month anyway. Oh, you didn't even do it.
No, I didn't actually do it. I had remorse. I didn't want to break the law, but no, I downloaded it to my Roku. I put it in. I thought it was going to bring up like the email and the password spot, but it brought me directly into clips.
Okay, so it lets you watch clips.
Right, so instead of looking like for how to log in, I just immediately started scrolling through the clips.
Okay.
Now, let me be 100% honest, ladies and gentlemen. When he gave me that password and when I downloaded it to Roku, I did that with only one intention in mind, and that was checking to see what female wrestlers they have going on nowadays.
Dude, the women? That was going to be my biggest thought about this whole thing. The women ran that fucking show.
Oh, really?
The matches with the men were not as good as the matches with the women.
Listen, I'm glad you said that because I never watched any of the matches, but
you just check out the females. Sasha Banks,
that's
man.
That's usually what I do, is what I'm saying. Sasha Banks. That's usually what I do. But the reason why I said that is because I remember vividly back when I did watch wrestling. I don't know if it was WrestleMania. I don't know what the name of the pay-per-view was. Might have been No, I doubt it was WrestleMania. That's a long shot. But I remember I had my father record it. Because my father had a scrambler back in the day. So
I actually remember that about it.
Right.
I
so I
remember
said,
that
Pops,
up.
I need you to record this wrestling match. So, of course, him being the ignorant dad that he is, he talks shit. Why the fuck what do you need me to record a wrestling match for? Like, why are you watching wrestling? Like, it's not even real. Right. Like, you don't want to watch a boxing or anything like this. So I say, so I'm going to be, me and my dad's always had a very real relationship. So I say, Pops, so it's this chick named Sable, and she's showing her tits on the match, and I want to see them. Please record.
And Jerry Lawler used to refer to those as the puppies, right? Wasn't that his big
stick,
the puppies? Yeah.
Listen, all I know is I told him, I said, please record it for me. He said, I'm on it. Not only,
let me see them sable titties.
Not only did he record it for me, I think he had somewhere he had to be that night. He dropped the tape off to me before he left. And then called me in the morning and said, how was it? Do I need to check and see what was going on?
That sounds like your pops.
But you know what's even more fucked up about it is she had pasties on.
Oh, really?
They weren't even her tits. She had like handprints. She had like black handprints over her tits or something like that.
That's lame.
And I was thinking like, God damn, all that for nothing.
Wah, wah, wah.
All that for nothing.
Now,
But that's the last real wrestling story I remember. Last real time watching.
yeah.
A
My
wrestling
so
pay-per-view.
I watched it pretty heavily in middle school, and then I fell off like throughout probably like 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and then when I was I guess 8th and 9th I fell off a little bit. And then 10th grade I was a sophomore, and the offensive line for the football team, in order to kind of do like team building shit.
He said 10th grade. I was a sophomore.
Sorry, I was organizing my thoughts. Thank you.
Just connected
You son
to
of a
me.
bitch. Call me
I was
on
like,
that.
wait, what the
That's
fuck
cool.
did
That's
he
cool.
just say?
No, so I was on the offensive line. What we did is we would get some of the bigger pay-per-views. So we would get like WrestleMania. We would get Royal Rumble. Some of that kind of shit.
Watching them with you and Dean and all that after y'all
Exactly.
graduated.
Yep. So that was kind of how I got into it. I watched it.
That was UFC though. That wasn't.
Yeah,
wrestling.
UFC was when we would get together and
Right.
watch like that kind of stuff
But I mean,
after
I read-
college. Yeah.
I
But
remember what you
every
just
like,
talking about.
and then every once in a while I would pick up like WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble just to see what was going on or see who was coming back or
Right.
just to do
That might have
something,
been what
right?
It was the Royal.
It might have been. Royal Rumble was always cool because it was 30 guys or whatever, right? And then there was always like 4 or 5 that were like nobody expected to be there.
Right.
And you
right.
get like the old school guy returning.
Right.
So that was the big thing. Like when I looked at the card for WrestleMania, I saw some names that I recognized, like Brock Lesnar, obviously. Bobby Lashley, who he had kind of an inconsequential match with somebody named, I think, like Aleister Black or something like that. And Bobby Lashley was a MMA fighter for a little bit.
Another name.
He and when he wrestled before he went to I think he was UFC, but he only wrestled in the UFC for like one match. And then he came back, but he actually looks like he looks like a real person now. Like when he first did the WWE, he was so jacked on steroids and everything else, or he might have been a legit bodybuilder, but he looked roided the fuck
Another
out.
name.
Now he looks like a human. But I thought he and Alistair actually had one of the better matches. Brock put over some dude named Drew McIntyre who I'd never seen before. Undertaker versus AJ Styles was actually a good one, and that was so they did 2 matches that were
I feel like the Undertaker. Listen, the
Undertaker was a G back in the day. I can't believe he's still fucking wrestling. Dude's got to be.
That's
60.
what I was. That's what I was about. That was you took the. You took the words out of my mouth.
He's got to be.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. No, they did with him. They did sort of like a cinematic thing. Like it didn't feel like a match. It felt like a movie, which I guess was okay because this is the whole coronavirus thing, right? So you're not going to be able to do anything in front of a crowd anyways. You might as well try to do something different. So he fought a dude named AJ Styles out in a graveyard.
I think I've heard of his name. But see, I think we touched on it last week. Like WWE seems to me like you would need a crowd.
No, I agree, and I think
it's acting.
It was super weird to watch it without having a crowd and not getting the crowd reactions.
It's acting, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
You need that crowd reaction
in
order to act. Like we said, in a fight sport like UFC or boxing, your adrenaline's pumping. You don't hear anything anyway. Yeah, I don't hear the crowd. I don't hear what you're saying.
Whereas WWE, a lot of it is playing off the crowd and reacting to what the crowd is doing.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
But it wasn't.
Why I thought Dana White's concept was going to work. Like, Dana's about to.
Right, Dana's about to rule the world.
I mean, let's be honest though. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand Disney, and
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I jump in
Of
with
course.
one thing right off the chat? We got in the chat. Biden puts the Dem in dementia. Or the dementia in the Democrats. Or the
Who said that?
You know, I would like to be able to give Mr. Fox that credit, but no, it was our other fan.
Oh, really?
Which she's not a big politics person either, so that one actually just surprises me.
That's witty. That's very witty.
Sorry, but anyways, going back to Dana
You know
White
what,
and
though? Very quickly, very briefly, hate politics. I'm gonna reserve 30 seconds for it though.
Go for it.
And I'm gonna get the worst, especially from you, Michael. I almost rather have Trump back in there than Biden.
I wouldn't go that far, but I understand that sentiment.
I know what I'm dealing with him. My whole thing is this. And I had this conversation with Malcolm.
Yep.
Hate to name drop, but that's my guy. He actually wants to come on here.
Well, you know, when the Rona frees up, or if he can dial,
Right.
if he could
said
do,
he would dial
we could
in.
try Skype. We could try.
He said he would dial in.
Actually, you know what we need to do? You
What?
remember how before the show I was talking about maybe we try StreamYards or StreamYard
right,
when we want people
Just
to call in.
download and do it that way.
We might be able to do it that way.
Okay.
Although, again, I don't know what kind of screwed this stuff up anyways, because
Right.
we haven't had issues the last 2 weeks and I didn't change anything.
Right.
But who the fuck knows?
Well, you used 24 of my 30 seconds, so I'm going to be extremely brief. Okay?
Sorry.
But I want to say this, though. With Trump, I feel like he's gotten away with so much, it's unbelievable. Like, he's gotten away with so much politically in that presidential office. It's unbelievable. Now, Trump is just Trump. He's just being him. That's just him. He's not playing to any particular side. He's just being himself. And you have to agree to that. I mean, let's be honest. He's a Republican, but he's not even doing what the Republicans want half the time. He's doing his own thing. My whole thing is, what do you think will happen when a politician gets in office? Knowing what Trump got away with. See, Trump's just dumb old Trump. But a politician that knows the laws and the rules, that knows what Trump got away with, can be scary.
Well, because he can cite precedent.
And exactly, and that's what worries me the most, is that I don't care how much people try to say that he's dumb or he's losing it and all that. He's still a politician, and he knows enough because he was under Obama, and he got to see how things work in that office.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want someone to abuse power the way Trump is with the intelligence of an actual politician.
Well, I think what'll be interesting is when we get into, so one, I'm gonna agree with you, because I think that it sets all sorts of bad precedences in
rough.
terms of how things have
When
been
people
going.
are like, oh, I can actually do this game. He doesn't know what he's doing. He really could have got away with this, but he didn't know that. When I get in office, I'm going to show him.
Right.
I don't know if I'm ready for that to happen.
No, and I think
Much rather be okay with Trump.
I think my thing is, you know, to the Dem and dementia comment.
You got 30 seconds.
I will. All right, so to go with the Dem and dementia, I think I'm not going to be able to pass that judgment until I understand who his running mate is. Because honestly, if we're still in a situation with
more rain?
I think
Depending
for me,
on who.
depending on who it
Right.
is, and
I
on
can see
top
that.
of that, depending if it is still a Republican-controlled Senate, or if the Republicans
was
take
about to
back
say
the
that too.
House, because you want
You
to
mean
talk
the
about
Democrats?
no,
No,
I'm
not
talk-
the House. No, you're
I'm
right.
talking about Republicans maintaining the Senate and taking back taking back the House. One, that'll put us in another deadlock situation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I think what it would do is, I think you could make the case to remove Biden from office if it's an opposite party in control of the Senate and the House, from a not competent or basically calling out the fact.
Well,
that
you gotta
he's-
wait. You can't.
can't do it right away.
And
But
you
that's
wouldn't be
where
able
I'm
to do
curious
it
to
based
see-
off of what's been done so far. You'd have to
Agreed.
wait until.
Agreed, but I think that there's opportunity there,
I'll
especially
agree.
after
I'll agree
everybody
with you
said
there.
have been talking
I'll
about
agree
it
with you there.
anyways.
I'll agree with you. there.
And I think understanding who Biden's running mate is, because honestly, I don't see Biden finishing out 4 years. I don't.
Really?
He's lost his family. Like,
yeah, this is kind of the last thing he has to live for.
See, I don't know. I know that his family died in an accident or whatever, or some of them, or I don't know. I don't know the story.
Right. I don't know everything about it either.
I don't care. I don't care to know the story.
Sounds like a tragic experience.
Right. God bless him for going through that. God bless 100%. Whether I like you or agree with you, God bless you. Don't care though. That has nothing to do with running the country.
Agreed.
I mean, if anything, like you said, that's a red flag to me for a reason you shouldn't run the country.
Right.
You shouldn't even. If everything was run the way it should be run, things like that would matter. Like, okay, Bernie dropped out, but Biden's not in a place to run the Democrat. Bernie, you're back in. Biden, you're out.
We're not gonna be in a situation where there's some.
Well, we're not going to do it based off of honor and morals is what it comes down to.
So we were just talking about wrestling, right? Who's going to do the run-in on the Democratic race? Can you imagine? Out of the back, from the crowd, comes Michelle Obama!
You know what? With a fucking chair!
She got the chair! Holy shit, did she just lay out Biden?
Right.
Good God! Good God! Good God!
Right.
Stunner!
I mean, listen. Hey, who else? It's up for grabs, though. Like, if anything, it'd be Hillary, and she'd still lose.
Yeah, she would.
I would still vote for Biden over Hillary, knowing that I would vote for Trump over Biden. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. And that's not me saying that I don't think we should have a female president. Have no problem with that. Not Hillary Clinton.
Would you have been okay with Liz?
Who's Liz?
Elizabeth Warren.
No, not
her either.
Not that Indian.
Kamala?
Definitely not that prosecutor.
You can't trust the
You know
DA.
what? I'm growing up. I'm just rattling off answers to these.
See, this show has been good for you.
Like, I know what I'm talking about. Listen.
Oh, man.
I'm growing up. I'm setting a bad example.
You know, I thought we said we were going to keep that to 2 minutes. I'd like to get back to the real topic at hand.
Right, can we? That was your fault.
My fault? You were the one that asked for 30 seconds.
I did 30 seconds.
I did too. And then you went another 30 after that.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, you asked me and I said...
Fools do not agree on this. My man. So are we good?
I've been good.
So The Undertaker buried AJ Styles. That was cool.
Who's AJ Styles?
AJ Styles.
The fat dude that was the commentator.
No. AJ Styles was he was over in the other promotion for a long time. He was at, what was it, TNA Impact. So for a while there was a WWE. Hat? No. He was always in like a leather vest, and he's actually, when it comes to like doing cool, I feel
like I know his name.
Doing cool shit in the ring, like he's good. Personality wise, I'm kind of like he's kind of a one trick pony, but so that happened. I guess Edge came back. Edge retired like 10 years ago. He came back.
I remember Edge.
Him and Randy Orton went.
Didn't he have a little brother?
Storyline wise, yeah. I don't think they're really brothers,
Christian.
But Christian, yeah, Edge and Christian. Edge and Randy Orton went like.
And Gangrel joined them.
Gangrel was actually the first one, and they joined him. They were all the Brood. They had the vampire gimmick. They would like dose people in fake blood after matches and shit like that. But Edge kind of broke out, and he was the
first. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He was the first Twilight.
What?
Gangrel was the first male Twilight.
Yeah, kinda. He was the first like kind of vampire character.
Right. Yeah. Spitting blood in the ring.
Well, you know what I remember? Is when we used to do our little backyard wrestling shit, you had Gangrel's finisher was your finisher.
What was that?
That was that lift up DDT.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was really called, but like implant DDT.
I remember what you're talking about.
And so that was your move that you stole from Gangrel, but you know.
Was it?
Yes.
But I used to do that one too.
You also used to do the one where you'd like flip up and hit the it was either a bulldog or a DDT off of it. Like I would flip you up in the power bomb and you'd come down with a DDT or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, man.
I remember.
Do you remember what it was called?
No.
The No Limit Federation.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
I painted that swing bottom silver, and that was our championship belt.
I do remember that. I remember that.
We put up old gutters and some cabling.
Oh, I remember that.
And some mattresses we found in the alley.
Who was it that hurt their eye? Was it me or Shelby?
I thought it was you.
It might have been.
Yeah, you could have puffed up your eye doing like a DDT on a chair or something.
The chair leg went into my eye.
So that's basically how the Randy Orton Edge match ended, was slamming a chair. Dude, that match went way too long. I don't know, man. The rest of the stuff was stuff that like I didn't know the people, and I probably watched 50% of it. Goldberg was there. I didn't know Goldberg came back to wrestling. But his match was like 10 minutes, or not even 10. It was like 5 minutes long, and he got beat. Same with the Lesnar match.
Wasn't he supposed
Lesnar
to join
lost in
the
5.
MMA? Wasn't he supposed to join the UFC and then never book
Goldberg?
the fight?
I don't know, but that sounds likely.
And never booked the fight? Fucking CM Punk booked the fight. We just talked about...
CM Punk was legit, though.
We just talked about... in WWE.
I think that I think if he had started in MMA,
well, right,
and he was a jiu-jitsu guy, like, but he wasn't an MMA guy. I'm just saying. I actually never saw him fight in the MMA, so I can't really say shit. Rob Gronkowski won a title at WrestleMania, though.
So did Ronda Rousey.
That's true.
Listen, and
but she didn't win this year.
That's where she belongs.
Ronda.
That's where she belongs.
After she lost, absolutely.
That's where she belongs.
And she made the right decision.
The beginning.
But she made the right decision to leave when she did.
Belonged from the beginning. Listen, as me, and I'm not saying me being like, listen, there's been a long time feud between strikers and wrestlers.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Wrestlers will not win just off of pure wrestling.
And
doesn't work that way.
And back in the day, it was between wrestlers and pure jiu-jitsu guys. Because when UFC first started...
When it first started, it was
when it was like the full tournament style.
It was between strikers and strikers. Then it went strikers jiu-jitsu. And then I feel like once people saw jiu-jitsu people finishing big men on the ground, that's when the wrestling started becoming more prevalent. It was like, oh, I can take you down easy.
Right.
Oh, Hoist Gracie is waiting for you to get on top of him. I'll get on top of you.
That was that's the one. And have we talked about that one before?
What?
The
Gracie,
one that that's Dan Severn, where Severn was in full mount, overextended on one punch, and Gracie locked out the arm.
That's all it takes. But the bottom line is, well, first of all, fuck CM Punk. I can't remember where we got after that.
That was we were talking about Goldberg and how he was weak because he didn't go to the
CM
MMA.
Punk has more balls than Goldberg
because he
Goldberg
did it.
Said he was going to do it and didn't do it. CM Punk was just like,
I'm going to do it.
Let's try it. Right. And that's what I was getting at. To your credit, I will always take someone like CM Punk over a Goldberg.
Who's willing to put it on the line.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I need you to do is say that I'll try it to the fullest of my ability. I'll make sure you're good enough to get there. I mean, not saying in MMA, I can't really help you with MMA.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
in fight sports in general, I can get you good enough to do it. It's up to you to win it or take it to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a Goldberg to say, I'm just going to do it, and then now you're back in the it makes sense because you're soft.
Right.
You look tough.
Well, that was always the thing.
Bald
with
head,
him.
beard.
He actually never did anything.
Big shoulders, you look tough. But those are usually the people that drop the
fastest. Except Brock.
Brock was a fucking dog.
Well, and even Brock.
Still to this day.
And even Brock was like a 50-50 shot. Like when he was in there against somebody Do you remember the first time he fought Mir?
No.
You remember the first time he fought Mir and he just gave him his ankle?
No. Mir, it looked that way because Mir was a jiu-jitsu artist. He was a jiu-jitsu
I remember
artist.
watching that fight and looking at the whole time, and I'm like, he's gonna put him. He's got his leg. This is over.
He was. You saw it. He didn't know what to do. He was on. Listen, he was leaning over top of him with his ankle in front of him,
right,
throwing punches. He didn't know what to do at that point. He wasn't that. But I'm saying to be as big as he was like a No joke. He was like a Mike Tyson.
Kinda. And he came in that way
to be that fast. As big as you are.
Who did
that's the only sense that I mean he was like a Mike Tyson.
Who was his
he
first...
wasn't hella powerful like Mike Tyson.
No.
I'm just saying to be as big and as quick as
But he was an
way.
NCAA champion. Like he was a championship wrestler. He was a championship
like
heavy,
what, Iowa? Like a farmer?
Minnesota Wrecking Crew. University of Minnesota. He was he may have originally been from Iowa, but I think he wrestled at Minnesota. But he was I say
that to say he was on a farm. He was picking shit up. He was, you know what I mean? He's a different breed. You're a different breed when you're.
Matt's agreeing with us because he's calling him a manimal in the chat. Yeah,
he is. Not a. Oh no, that's never mind.
I don't know where you were going with that one.
Never mind.
But no, I thought no, Brock was a dog, and I think he does a great job in terms of he's just a monster. Like,
so I give him peas.
And he did he at WrestleMania he put the dude over. He put Drew McIntyre over, meaning he lost the fight, or he lost the match to
that's cool
McIntyre.
Though. It's
because probably, it's fake, right?
Right. It's probably, right.
He's trying to build up the next superstar because Brock ain't going to do this shit forever. And honestly, Brock's got the best fucking deal with the WWE anyways. That dude has to like wrestle maybe 5 times a year.
That's cool.
And he makes bank.
But I'm sorry, I didn't get to finish what I was saying.
Go for it.
Ronda solidified striking over wrestling
in the MMA, or for women in the MMA
in general.
Okay.
I don't think it translates to women or men. I think it's in general. A pure wrestler versus a all-around fighter is always gonna lose.
Yeah.
Always. And once people knew all Ronda had was wrestling, it was over.
Well, I mean, that's what happened, right? Was she got in it with a good striker and she was done.
Twice. Right. Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes.
But she should have left after Holly
and
Holm.
Amanda Nunes.
Was that 2 in a row? Did she lose to them back to back?
I think she lost 3 in a row, actually. I think she lost to somebody else.
Then she did what she needed to do. She got out when she needed to and to go get the money.
Right, I think she lost to somebody else in between Holly and Amanda. Because when she lost to Holly, I think she did a tune-up fight and won. Did another tune-up fight, lost.
Gotcha.
No. Did a tune-up fight, lost. Did a tune-up fight, won. Then went in with Amanda Nunes and lost that. And then that's when she went to the WWE.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly. But I feel like she lost more than just Holly and Amanda, which is what made her leave. Look at Ben Askren and Jorge Masvidal. You can't be just a regular wrestler. He ran in there for the shoot immediately, and you took a flying knee directly out the gate because he knew that's the only thing you can do to me is try to take me down.
Right.
You can't be a pure wrestler and beat any all-around fighter
in
any MMA sport.
And if you're going to come in as
without a lucky shot or a lucky...
Well, if you're going to come in as a pure wrestler like Brock was, you got to learn how to strike. You You got to become a boxer. You have to add something to your game.
That was what was so amazing about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that Frank Mir had hands.
Right.
And he came in there and made Frank Mir look like, oh, grab him. He's going to fuck me up. 2 fights in a row.
Right. You're not wrong.
Man, he was a dog.
For a minute.
Give him bees.
Who's the heavyweight champ right now?
John Jones.
Oh, Jones is? I thought he was light heavyweight.
Yeah, no, I think, so he was, I think you are right. He was heavyweight, and then when that bullshit happened, he had to
forfeit the title.
Right, and it went to Cormier.
Okay.
Cormier fought, Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic beat him.
He's the current champ.
Right. Well, no. Cormier beat Miocic, and then they fought again. Miocic beat him, and then I don't know if he's lost it since then. So it's either Stipe Miocic or I feel like he lost to somebody.
Well,
he did. I know that for a fact.
Maybe he lost it and won it back.
Nah, I don't think he has it at all.
I say current and all-time UFC champions Stipe Miocic defeated Cormier.
I feel like somebody beat him after
UFC
that.
241.
He might be.
Well, let's see. I'm pulling it up.
He might be, but I feel like he got beat after that. I might be wrong.
We'll see. I'm sure it'll come up.
I mean, he's no joke, though. He's no joke. But Daniel Cormier, I feel like, is the most underrated UFC fighter ever in the history.
Yeah.
And I hate him.
Yeah.
I won't say
Why
I
do you
hate him. I won't say I hate him, because that's
You just did.
I know, and I pulled it back immediately. That's a very strong word. I won't say that. The only reason why I say he's the most underrated is because he's a multi-weight division champion.
Okay.
That's not boxing.
No.
It's not boxing where you can move up
Stipe
a couple
is
weight.
the current champ, by the way.
He is.
He won it.
That was bad.
August of 2019.
Yeah,
just
I was about to
August
say
of
that
last
was-
year.
yeah, I was about
So
to
he
say.
probably hasn't fought again since then.
It was a rough fight too. It was the Daniel Cormier rematch.
Okay.
That was a rough fight for him. He was fucked up in that fight.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. Cormier was arguably winning at some points of that fight.
Yeah.
I just want fight sports to come back.
Well, and I don't understand why they.
That's something I don't understand. Why they can't
Why
come
can't
back.
they? And honestly, the flip side
And
with
listen.
UFC was you did have individual fighters that were basically
Listen.
saying they weren't going to fight for medical concerns.
And I understand that. But what people don't understand.
But there's got to be
is-
people that are hungry for a shot that'd say, "Fuck it, let's
right.
go."
And it's not even about that though. What people don't understand is most of the time when you're preparing for a fight, you're staying in the house with your camp.
Right.
Meaning, if you are my sparring partner and say 2 other people,
Sponsor, trainer.
we're staying in this house
coach.
together. We're waking up at the same time. We're all eating and we're working
All
out
doing
the
the
same
same
time.
shit right here.
So I'm pretty sure when the quarantine was implemented, there were different groups of houses
had to have
of
had
fighters that were quarantined together that did not have any contact to the. So you take them and you say, okay, are you clean? We just need you to pass this test. We're going to fly you here.
Yeah.
You're going to fight with no audience.
Right.
You would have at least, I would imagine, at least 4 to 6 fights that you could make just off of camps that were stuck in quarantine together.
You would think. But that's the whole. That's what I don't get.
Or if Dana White was smart, do sparring wars. We know, don't get me wrong, what goes on in the gym is never supposed to be televised. Never supposed to be televised. But that's the whole point of it. That's the gimmick.
Well, that's the whole reason why you
is,
do it.
oh,
yeah.
now you get to see what happens in sparring. Aren't you good?
Right.
Are you worried about losing
to your sparring partner?
If you're good, it doesn't matter. It's sparring. You're gonna lose every now and then.
Right.
It doesn't count towards your record. So let the public see how this works. You would get hella more views if you could go into the camp of.
But again, who's he gonna do it with? It's
the people
ESPN.
he's stuck in that quarantine.
No, but
with.
what I'm talking about from a distribution channel's perspective.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This goes back to my earlier. If he had his own network and he didn't have to,
you're still violating social distancing,
right?
And
right,
I get it, but no, because we were stuck in quarantine before this happened.
Agreed, but I think that you'd still be at.
Are you supposed to social distance your kids?
No, and I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to think about how is it that Disney and the Disney ESPN relationship was able to shut down UFC 249.
That's the question.
Because to your point, okay, you've got two groups of what? 2 groups of 5 guys?
At least. It's usually about 5, 6.
So 2 groups of 6 guys.
3 sparring partners in your camp for like the 2 months. Because you want them to be fresh every time.
Right. How many people do you need at ringside? So you need your 2 fighters.
Your specific corner. So that's going to be 3 additional. You're going to cut man.
See, that right there gets you close to that 10 number, though.
Your cut man
that might be the problem.
So get your cut man and your
cut man and your coach.
I was about to say your cut man and your the Vaseline, the swelling guy. Them the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not the same, is why I said that. Make them the same. That's 1 now instead of 2. Your coach. So now it's just 2. Coach, cut man, swelling.
Referee. Same for the other side. So that gets you to 6. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know why you couldn't do it.
Right. And you
especially to your point where it's have you been in UFC? They're the UFC. They can do this. They can say, have you been quarantined for the last 2 weeks?
Right.
Yes. We're going to do the weigh-in.
I'm sure they can keep track of who was in whose camp.
Right.
So y'all were in camp together. Y'all never left here when this quarantine happened. Okay, y'all are cleared then. We're just going to test you before you get on this plane.
Right.
We're going to test you again when you land.
Well, but that could be the concern, though, is the travel. The question is, are the fighters okay with it, or because I think
the fighters are okay with it.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying is if you look at why UFC or why this one was canceled was because they already switched fighters because somebody bailed.
Probably Tony Ferguson.
I don't think that was the name I saw, but
I was about to say probably Tony Ferguson. I argue he's the best fighter in UFC, but he's backed out of the last 3 fights he's had from injury. Which is why I say it makes sense.
That's why you thought it was him.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even thinking it was because of this corona. He's probably still injured saying, let me buy some more time. Just saying, I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would tell my fighter to do that. Are you still hurt? Say you don't feel comfortable with the corona shit going on.
Right.
Get us an extra month.
Yeah. Buy yourself some time.
Right. But other than that, I can't. I don't know. I don't either. So, kind of bringing it back, because we hit on a point that we didn't really get into too much. Taking it back to WrestleMania. Uh-huh.
I actually thought that the women's matches were the most entertaining things. Now, I think that they tried.
I feel like that with UFC too.
I think they can
I didn't
be.
mean to cut you off, but
no, absolutely.
I feel like the women's usually they're hungry. It's like college football and NFL.
Yeah.
The women know I'm not going to get as much money as a man. I got to put on a show.
I got to be able to put on a show, so maybe I can get some sponsorship and that kind of stuff.
To the NFL.
Right. So. Well, and I think that's what was, it's the women that are going right now, the ones that I was familiar with were like Charlotte Flair, who's Ric Flair's daughter. She's kind of a big deal. She's one of the champions. Because they've got, so here's what they've done with the women's division. So they're still they have basically 2 shows, right? They've got Raw and SmackDown that they treat as kind of 2 separate brands. They have a women's title on each brand, and they have a women's tag team division on each brand now.
Is Hogan?
Hogan? What's up?
Brooke Hogan, is she in there?
I don't think so.
She damn sure ain't no R&B star.
But I think it's interesting just because, like, back when I was watching, there definitely wasn't a women's tag team division. I think that's cool that they're doing that now. But no, it was so Sasha Banks, who is going to be in The Mandalorian, which I'm a big fan of. But
I know what that is, but
she's one that I think that would be up your alley.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she's cool. And then Bailey was the other one, and so I actually thought the best like true match of the night came from there was a I don't know if they called it a fatal 5-way, but from like a 5-way elimination match for the women's title. I thought was like the best match of the entire pay-per-view, and I thought I mean there were a couple other ones that I was just like, damn, these girls can go.
Right.
And I think I've seen a lot about how like the women have been kind of carrying WWE lately, and I see why. Like if you're at a point where Goldberg and Brock Lesnar are your champions, and they're only quote unquote wrestling, 3 months, 4 months out of the year.
She's cute for wrestling,
isn't she? I thought you'd like her.
For wrestling, she's cute.
I thought she'd be up your alley.
Yeah, for wrestling, she's all right. She's all right.
So it was basically watching the women's matches that I thought were good, and then I watched and then The Undertaker. Like I always come back to watch The Undertaker.
Yeah, I like Kane too, but once he got that See No Evil money, he was like, "Fuck this."
Well, I don't think he's still doing it.
Yeah, well, he's probably a dummy in the movie. Like I'll be the big guy with the mask on.
Actually,
Michael Myers, didn't he play Michael Myers?
I don't know, did he? I don't remember that. You might be right.
Listen, that might be a fool comment, but I feel like he played new Michael Myers, like Rob Zombie Michael Myers.
But you want to talk about people getting their money now?
Who?
Andrew, my son had Netflix up.
What?
Big Show is doing like a family situational sitcom.
The Big Show show.
Is that what it's called? Is the Big Show show?
Yeah, I saw it.
I saw it pop up.
I didn't watch it.
I might have to go back and watch it.
I might watch it just to see, but
because I think he's a funny. Like I've watched some of the documentary stuff about him.
Yeah, he doesn't. He seems like he has
he's
kind
just
of
fun,
a
like,
Shaq person.
Exactly. That's a great call. That's a great
Shaq,
call.
because Shaq has his own personality,
right?
But close to a Shaq.
He's just a goofy dude,
right.
He did that whole gimmick for a while, where basically like he was stealing everybody else's gimmick.
Listen, I don't know.
So I think that would be pretty
break
funny.
This podcast, but I'm.
Do you need to take a second?
Up here. Piss is about to come out of my mouth if I don't hurry up. And
I mean, honestly, we probably only have 10 minutes left. But if you need to go take a quick piss, and I can talk the wrestling. For
let's do that real quick.
All right,
and I'll be right back.
So the other thing that I'll hit on. And we'll cut off the cliff cam for a minute. So I think that when you look at the different things that they did, just knowing that this was all kind of the coronavirus and how they were handling things, I think they did an okay job in terms of putting on a show. I think watching pro wrestling is it's tough without a crowd. And I can't imagine what it's like being a pro wrestler doing the things that they do, and knowing that most of their script is based on, and I say script, I mean most of what they do in the ring is a reflection of how the crowd is reacting to them, and I think that that's a very tough thing to do without a crowd. But I tell you what, I'm glad that they did it, because there has not been anything close to a sport on TV for almost, it feels like at least a month now. And with, UFC and the boxing leagues and those kind of things starting to pull back and not doing some of that stuff right now, like, that's a problem. And I'm glad the WWE is doing this from a content perspective. Now, I think that they tried some new things. So they did a match, like I said, with Undertaker and AJ Styles out in the Boneyard. I feel like I've seen that before. But they did it as instead of doing kind of the single shot camera that you see through most of wrestling, they did some like cinematic things in terms of like almost scene cuts, and 1 second the Undertaker's in the ground, and then the next second he's behind the guy. Like there was some stuff like that was a little cheesy, but I mean I thought it was something that they could work through. And then there was another similar thing with Bray Wyatt and John Cena, and they called it like the Firefly Funhouse, and that whole segment, I don't know what the fuck that was, but there was some entertainment to it. Like, it was John Cena and Bray Wyatt basically playing out scenes from wrestling past. And so there were some crazy things, like they redid kind of like Eric Bischoff and Hogan and some of that stuff, and I think it's given me just a reason to go back and watch some stuff.
I saw that.
Did you? The
I
Firefly Funhouse match, or
I didn't watch them, but you talking about on the app?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Hogan with the blonde where he had the bald. Yeah, I saw that.
So I think that was cool. I think the other side with it is it made me, so there have been, so I haven't watched wrestling in probably, I don't know, 8-10 years. Every once in a while I'll pop in for like a month and then I'm done with it again. Part of me is like, do I introduce Andrew to it? Do I not? I think for me it's I think I want to, at this point, just because there's not a lot else going on, like I might follow it for the next couple of weeks just to have something that's kind of sports-like, because they're still doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Right?
Why
Especially
not? What else can you show? What
right.
else can you show?
Right. And honestly, I may go back and watch, if you've never seen it, you would actually probably like it, just from a, I think it's back when you used to watch a little bit too, but have you ever seen the Monday Night Wars documentary? It basically details like WWE versus WCW, like what that entire like back and forth was, like the introduction of the NWO, the introduction of DX, all that kind of stuff.
Hulk Hogan and Macho Man started out on WCW.
It did not start there. That's where they were when you and I were old enough to watch.
That's where their tag team started.
The Superpowers? No, that was a WWE thing.
The
back
tag
in the
team?
80s. Back in the 80s, yes.
Macho Man and Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. They both went to WCW at the same time though. Or Superpowers or the Mega Powers. Mega Powers.
I do remember them being with WWE, but I don't ever remember them being the tag team.
I thought they were. You might be right. I feel like they tag teamed up. I think they teamed up.
Talking about when Ultimate Warrior and all them was out. They were coming out off the back end of Ultimate Warrior with WWE.
Okay.
Everybody left to go to WCW.
Well, they did.
They
did. Yeah. Because because Ted Turner was buying everybody out.
But that's when I remember seeing Macho Man and Hulk Hogan team up for their tag team.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't watch wrestling until I got to middle school, so you probably got that more than I do. Most of mine is going back and watching shit like documentaries and shit now.
Well,
anyway,
I had all my older cousins and shit that were into that.
Probably into that, yeah. I think going back the Monday Night Wars, they've got a series on the WWE Network. I couldn't find the single documentary. The single documentary is great. It's like 90 minutes, and it kind of details the whole back and forth, like who was winning when, and kind of hits all the high points. The series, I think it's 20 episodes, and they're all an hour long.
You know what wrestling I have been watching?
What's that?
And I don't know if we should wait for this to segue into our last segment before we wrap up. What we're watching currently for the people out there that may need something to watch. But Glow.
Oh, Glow is phenomenal.
Glow? Love Glow.
Dude, I watch Glow when it comes out. Speaking of which,
Love Glow.
So I've been talking to you about the fucking movie trivia schmodown for
I've tried to
months.
look it up for I don't know how long now. I'm not getting the right ones, I guess. You got to send me a link or something.
No, the movie trivia schmodown. Monte Picchu from Glow.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
She had her first schmodown match, or her first league match this week.
Did she win it?
No, she lost to another rookie, but it was a good match. It was a good match, but no, that's one that you should. I keep trying, man. I keep trying, but I hear you. If you can't find it, if you can't find it, you can't find it.
I'm gonna even screenshot the text
before you leave today. I might force you to watch a match before you leave. Especially because
I'm not against that.
Especially because we're about wrapped up. We're almost 2 hours in.
Yeah.
What else you watching? You watch anything else pop up?
I started watching the Ozarks.
I did too. I'm only 2 episodes in though, and honestly, I got halfway through the second episode, and there was a little. We turned the TV off for other stuff.
His wife fucking some dude or something like that.
Oh, that was in the first episode. Yeah.
Okay. Well, wait. Oh, you turned the TV. Oh, okay. Fools agree.
Subtract that one. It took a minute.
Fools agree. At first, I'm thinking, oh, Andrew is in there. Oh, you don't watch Grow Up Fast shows with him. So. Me and Karma, I'm like, so Karma, this is drugs. What they're doing. Now, what you want to do is make sure you don't.
Don't fuck up like that.
I'm just playing, kinda.
If you're gonna be a money launderer, don't fucking steal the money. Take your cut and be happy.
And don't let nobody back you up into no situation. Call your daddy.
Oh man. Anything else? Because I started that too. I think Ozark.
Happy with Law and Order Stabler.
Oh, with Christopher Maloney. Is this the new? Is there a new series? Okay.
Where he's the little girl gets kidnapped, who turns out to be his daughter, and she has an imaginary friend who leaves her to find him to get him to rescue her.
I don't know that one, but I might have to check that out
on Netflix.
Is it new? Did it just come out?
I don't know when it came out.
Because I thought I saw something about he had a new series coming out. Is that what it is?
Definitely entertaining. You'll love it. Love it. I don't know if you can watch it with like the wife or anything like that. It's kind of far out.
It's hit or miss. We'll see.
It's far out. Like I want to explain the opening scene of the show, but it may be too graphic for a lot of our
Gotcha.
listeners. So,
all right.
Other than that, watched Against My Will.
Against Your Will?
All American.
Okay.
Have you
No, I haven't started it yet.
Have you seen Friday Night Lights?
Yeah. You
Black
said it's the black
version.
version. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
That's what that is. It's all right.
And you said you watched season 2 first before you saw season 1.
Yeah, no, I didn't see season 1. So I don't know what that's about.
So that's probably where we.
I don't even know if I saw all of season 2.
Are they hour long or half hour?
Hour. It's like Friday Night Lights.
I can't do that and Ozark at the same. Although maybe that would be a good palate cleanser from Ozark.
I probably.
Like watch one and then watch the other.
That's a good
Because you know, we're wrapping up our last of the regular season or the regular TV shows because we're big Empire fans.
What do you mean by regular? Like on regular?
On
TV?
regular ass TV.
And you mean Empire like Lucius Lyon?
Lucius Lyon, Lucius and Cookie.
Yeah, I bet.
You know I'm black.
I give you that. I agree. I agree there.
Cookie Lion.
Listen.
That's my girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one qualifies probably as a guilty pleasure.
No Empire for me. Probably only seen maybe 1 or 2. I can't say 1, maybe 2, 3. Probably not even 3.
Did you see? Had you seen enough that you knew who Jussie Smollett was?
Oh, I know. Is that his name, Smollett?
Uh huh. Did
So
you know
it's
he
not
was?
Smollett?
Did you know he was also in the Mighty Ducks? He's Jesse's little brother in the Mighty Ducks. The dude who's always calling the white kid cake eater.
Now.
Oh, is he? I didn't know he
the
was.
goalie.
No. I was saying Jesse is the one that always calls the
You say he
the
was
rich white kid.
Goldberg's little brother.
No, I said Jesse's little brother.
Wait.
Jesse was the black kid that used to call the rich white kid cake eater. His little brother in the original Mighty Ducks was Jussie Smollett.
Hold on. Time out. Because I feel like you're not explaining that to me correctly.
Jesse was the black kid in Mighty Ducks. Jesse. He used to call Banks, the one that they had to go steal from the other team, the rich kid. He used to call him cake eater.
Okay, I see
Jesse
what
is
you're
the
saying.
black dude.
Okay.
His little brother in the original Mighty Ducks, because I don't think Jussie, so not Jussie versus Jesse, I don't think Jussie was in anything but the first Mighty Ducks. But Jesse was in the first two.
I see what you're saying.
You hear me? You understand? Are you following now? Mighty Ducks, by the way, great movies. Could still go back, watch them. They still hold up. They're fine.
Bringing back another one.
I think they're saying they're going to bring back a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, I guess they
or something to that effect.
Jesse Smollett. Or Smollett. And he's hugging on them two white boys.
Our boy Matt also says that you're right. We got to check out Happy. All right.
Happy's the shit.
He's telling our fans he agrees.
Happy's the shit. Happy's the shit, G.
One of these
Which
cameras.
camera's my camera?
Oh man, we're gonna figure that out. I'm irritated that didn't work because I didn't change anything on the audio setup.
You ain't shit.
What are you gonna do?
You bet, Rita. Help.
You know what's fucked up is that we could hear him and he couldn't hear us.
Listen.
And I think the video could hear him based on.
I hope the podcast could hear.
Otherwise, it's just gonna be terrible.
Listen, issues.
Which tells me the issue was on his side, by the way. If we could hear him and the recording was coming through, it sounds like an issue on his side, not ours. But
I'm not
it's
saying
okay.
you're lying, sir. I'm not saying you are.
It's okay. I don't know, man. Anything else? You watching anything else? Anything else for our viewers? Like anything else to pass the Corona time?
Listen.
Hopefully, we're only a couple weeks left in this.
Honest, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say that. I wouldn't mind if this shit lasted another 4 months.
You might be on your own there, bruh. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind working from home, and I might have to make that a consideration set for the future.
I just don't like people in general.
I'm kind of with you, and I see my extrovert wife struggling. I see my extrovert son struggling. I see myself, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of miss having these conversations in person. Oh, well, shit.
I just feel like, don't get me wrong. Once this is over, I'm going to touch somebody.
Are you?
I'm going to touch
somebody.
That's going to happen. But, not in a rush.
Not hurry.
No rush. No hurry.
That's understandable.
You know what I mean? Like,
is Karma sorry.
You're fine.
Is your daughter still coming over during this, or?
No, she's not.
Okay, so you guys have kept her at one place.
Yeah, she's staying with Michelle. I'm fine with that as well.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely fine. I haven't even, can't say that. I guess I have gotten a little miss her a little bit, because it's been 3 weeks now.
Okay.
And I have felt a little like, oh, yeah, I'm starting to miss her. But yeah, no. I'm still...
But you're all right.
Yeah, I'm still fine. I didn't know I was this antisocial. I always thought I was an extrovert, and I guess I am. I'm more of an omnivert, if I'm being 100%.
Yeah,
honest.
I feel like you and I are kind of alike in that way. Like, when we've got close friends and close relationships, we want to be with those people and hang out with those people. Right. But outside of that, fuck everybody else.
But I can converse with.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you can't.
You can put me in a room for the people I don't know, and I'll still be.
You will.
Social,
you will find a way to be social and make people laugh.
I won't
if nothing else.
Necessarily like it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Understand that completely.
It's just a part of my nature, but I don't necessarily.
I think you are someone that can go in and start a conversation with folks. That's where you and I are different. I hate starting a conversation. I will jump into any conversation. If somebody engages me, I can find something to talk about.
About that.
But I'm not the one to start it.
And that's funny. Because probably the same insecurities that you have with starting are the same insecurities I have with jumping in. With jumping in makes me feel like you weren't a part of this conversation when it began.
Right.
So be careful when you jump into it because you may come off on and off. You know what I mean?
No, I think that makes sense. I got you.
And you know me, like my what are the,
if you can't come in and be the dominant personality,
are strong. I have strong perspectives. I don't mind saying things that offend people. So
this is true.
If I'm
it's all
listening,
very true.
if I'm listening, I'm probably not going to jump in unless I heard it start from the jump or I was involved.
Right.
Because I'm not about them.
Not
like,
about
oh,
that.
yeah. You don't like your kids? Oh, well, I hate my kids, so. I'm just playing, but you know what I mean?
Well, I think...
No, I would never say anything about that about my children. Well, my kid's a bastard, so what the fuck do you want from me? What are you talking about? What do you want from me? I got a fucking bastard on my hands. Here.
Leave my goddaughter alone.
Love her to death. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful little bastard. She's a bastard.
She's the best.
I'm working from home. I got my desk set up in a room. I'm working. I'm like, what the fuck? Scratching and shit. What the fuck is going on? Doing all this? Ants crawling up my body.
That sounds like a problem with your house.
From her room.
What'd you find?
She leaves plates, food. She has a...
This is my wife that you're talking about now.
She has a nightstand. She has a nightstand next to her bed. Had gum stuck to the inside of the drawer.
Gum's not going to bring ants.
Regardless, if you're savage enough just to put gum on the inside of a nightstand
just
drawer.
lay it there. Lay it there.
What the fuck else? I probably haven't found all the food that she's left in that room yet.
You're probably right.
If you're listening, baby, you ain't shit. But your daddy loves you.
I hope you're not listening.
You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit like your daddy. No, I'm just playing, baby. I give you all your best features. Your mom ain't shit. And she ain't never gonna be shit like her daddy.
The views and opinions expressed here are not those of both of the fools. Fools do not agree.
I agree with myself.
I'm sure you do. All right, man. I think that's about it for tonight. I think it's about time we wrap this up, sir. Any closing thoughts? Love each other.
At this point in the quarantine, shoot first, ask questions. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I love you. I love you, baby. I love all you. I love you.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. Your mama's alright.
Your mama's alright. Alright. On that note, we're going to go ahead and call it a night tonight. Appreciate everybody dialing in or checking in on the live stream. Looked like we had a fair amount of viewers.
Yeah.
I saw Cliff spilled some beer on the microphone. He's taking care of that now, and we appreciate it. Hey, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a
break.
If you're feeling real generous, head on over to streamlabs.com/foolproof entertainment or foolproof.live. And give us a little bit of a donation. We're starting to make a very, very tiny, minuscule amount of it's really change. It's not money. Change on the podcast version from some of our advertising. So go out, subscribe to the podcast, download the podcast, throw it on in the background, do what you got to do. But with all of that, hope you all have a good night, and we'll catch in with you next week. All right, peace out.